Oh, we got a few minutes. Hey, I haven't got to tell everybody about our. They love the idea. They know that the more money we have coming in means raises and everything else. It, yes, that's what she said. It's delicious. Good. Yes. I like really good. Really good. Wow. He's back there.
Because it says test for each 15% raise, so that means it has to get and then 10 cents for each 50% over $5. And also it says a full surcharge of $3 per trash container for each 50-cent raise over $5. Well, I guess it has to be. But this, I mean, it's interesting.
But when you guys thought about that, I'm not sure Scott. Hi. Questions? Okay. 10 cents per trash container for each 50 cents raise over $5, so that means if it's $5.50, it goes up 10 cents for each container.
Okay, and then once it drops down there, again, that's what it used to be. I read over it, but it looked, because it looked pretty much the same as the last one. That's why we put it in there, it's small print.
on TV.
How we know?
Is it 9 o'clock? I mean, is it time? 5:59?
Well, we're supposed to meet. I mean,
Plant down in there, whole plant.
they plan to do anything there yet, like, it's kind of no need to have.
Huh? Which, I know that's one monarchs eat, but I thought, like sticks.
Well, we put the sticks in there, trying to set where we can keep it mowed.
There we go. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm going to ask you to please silence your phones. Okay, thank you so much. April, will you do roll, please?
Larry,
Here,
Mark,
Here.
Dan,
Here,
Darlene.
Here. Thank you. Acknowledgement that the agenda was posted outside the door of Inola Town Hall more than 24 hours prior to the meeting. Pledge allegiance, please. Mark, will you lead us in opening prayer, please?
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to thank you for this time to come together to take care of the town's business, Father. Father, I just pray that you open our ears and open our minds and help us make good decisions, Father. Father, I thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, number 1, approval of previous regular meeting minutes as printed.
I make a motion to approve previous regular meeting minutes as printed.
second.
Mark made the motion, second by Dan. Larry,
yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes,
Darlene.
Yes. Okay, public comments. Paula? Remind you of 3 minutes, please.
Okay, do you have a clock somewhere?
Yes, she's got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Consider giving one, oh, there you go, so we can see when we run out of time. The town has spent over $41,000 fighting my lawsuit, in which I provide evidence the citizens of Inola were denied due process because the town did not give proper notice that a property was going to be rezoned. The town has submitted Exhibit D8 it's kind of hard, and that they submitted this to the court that they did give proper notice. This isn't a very good picture, but I have a better picture that was signed by your town clerk. And what that picture is, it's a Joe Don's fence over at Southwest Boulevard and 2 Mile. So what happened, the town took a letter signed by the town planner and put it in a plastic sleeve and stapled it to a survey stake and put it next to Joe Don's fence, claiming that was proper notice. At our next hearing, the judge will hear the town's request for summary judgment, the town's request to declare the case moot, and my request to move forward to trial. For the summary judgment request, the judge will decide if a letter stapled to a survey stake gave proper notice, or if the town was supposed to put up a big yellow sign on the property, like it did for the subdivision being built out by Sinclair. If you honestly think the judge will declare the case moot and it will all be over with, ask your attorney what voluntary cessation means. Larry, You were the mayor in July 2022. Before the vote on the rezoning, I told you you were breaking the law. I asked you to open the book of ordinances, and I could show you what law you were breaking. You said if I thought you were doing something wrong, I could take you to court, so I did. You, Darlene, and Trent went ahead and voted to approve the rezoning without even checking the ordinance. I have a recording of that meeting. You, Darlene, and Trent have already been subpoenaed. You're going to have to explain to either a judge or a jury how a letter stapled to a survey stake gave proper notice to the public of a rezoning and why you didn't follow the local ordinances. The ordinances are the laws of Inola. Allowing your attorney to continue fighting this case by filing motion after motion, you're making the choice to spend more and more taxpayer money. The trustees need to put a stop to this wastefulness of taxpayer dollars. $41,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Beth Richards.
Okay. My item is specifically about agenda items number 8. Forgive my frustrations because I've had a hard time trusting anyone these days. I never got a straight answer at the open house on March 26th of who would take on considering my request to look at a community benefit agreement. The county told me to talk to Tulsa Ports. Tulsa Ports told me to talk to the town. And the town administrator told me he would not respond to my email and that we just don't do those here. But here we are considering a nonpartisan committee to review and research community concerns and hire an independent consultant. I feel very hopeful that this is a real consideration and not just one that they can say they appeased our request. As I've said before, all we've heard is projections based on assumptions of what happens when everything goes right. But Century Aluminum documents its risks and contingencies in their own filings. Those aren't opinions, those are disclosures. If we look at, if those risks apply to them, then they apply to OPA and they affect us. I'd also point out that Inola was selected for this project largely in part because of the energy cost savings compared to the other locations that were up for consideration. They're receiving additional millions of dollars to get this project off the ground, and that's already a significant deal. Asking for something concrete in return isn't unreasonable. So if we can agree to implement a committee and consultant, we will have some more additional questions to answer. Will this committee have the authority and actually be able to negotiate or recommend a community benefit agreement, or is it limited to discussion only? Who will it report to and who has the final decision-making power? And if it identifies real risks or gaps, what mechanism ensures that those concerns are actually going to change the outcome and don't just get documented and ignored? Who decides what success looks like? I'm willing to work on coming to an agreement and finding the answers to these questions along with many more. Because if this company wants to build trust and transparency and talk to us like neighbors, and if we want accountability and don't want to end up like Pitcher, Oklahoma, we have to implement something concrete in the beginning, not after the fact.
Thank you. Chuck Rowland.
My name's Chuck Rowland. I would like to. Can I have my minutes back? This is going back. Just hold it. There you go, just hold it. Thank you. My name's Chuck Rowland. I would like to speak the Constitution to everybody in the room here. Our Oklahoma Constitution says that all political power is inherent in the people. So here's the people, and here's all political power. And so if you're looking at us, you have a job title from the Constitution, you've sworn to an oath to, that says you will be protective of our security, benefit, and general welfare. That's your job. When you wake up every morning, that's your job. And so it's much like you guys are policemen out in front of our properties, and if we wake up one morning and the policeman's gone, and we're like, what happened to my protectors? Then overnight, somebody came to my protector and said, we will sprinkle money over the city, and lured our protectors away, because that's the job, is to protect our security, benefit, and our general welfare. And so there is remedy in the Constitution. If this upsets you guys, there's a remedy for you, and it's called an affidavit. And an affidavit is where you sign that I'm swearing to harm, that I'm being harmed by this commerce coming into town. And you send one to each one of the city councils, you send one to the county commissioners, you send one to the governor, you send one to the representatives, and it's like a floodlight of what's going on if you don't like it. It's a floodlight to them of what's going on. And so unfortunately, these meetings have no legal bearing whatsoever. An affidavit does, though. So if an affidavit is sent by all political power, they start landing on the desks of these people next week. And they land on the desk of the governor, and they land on the desk of the attorney general, and and this light is shined. Now you have some power. These meetings do nothing. There's nothing that happens in these meetings. Finally, I would like to say that the public determines what the good is. These people are representatives. They are to represent what we want. We determine what public good is. These people do not determine what public good is. We have discretion of what we want or don't want. These people do not have discretion. They represent us. So if you want to make a move that's going to change things in the next week, you need to get an affidavit, you need to swear to harm, and you need to send it to the people that I just listed. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that Brandon? Is that Brayton?
See if I can get this working here. Okay. Oh, it's not wanting to stay there. Okay, I just had a question for you guys. I wanted to know what advice your attorney is giving you in regards to full disclosure about people having all political power and possessing inherently the right to determine public good.
I can't respond to that. I'm sorry. It's not on our agenda, okay? And I'm sorry I can't respond to that. But I thank you for voicing that concern.
I've got another question. Is this working anymore? Wow, that's crazy. So Tulsa County on Friday dropped a grand jury petition. Just want to let everybody know. They did it with 100 signatures, which is what the Oklahoma Constitution prescribes to open and convene a grand jury upon the motion of the district attorney. And Inola can do the same thing with 100 petitions. So just want to let everybody know that if you wanted to get a grand jury to investigate literally anything that's going on and give full disclosure for whatever's going on behind these doors, and if there's any non-disclosure agreements, if there's any backdoor dealings, they can discover any of that. So if anybody wants to get together and get a grand jury going, just let me know. I can show you everything that's been going on through Tulsa and get you guys on your way to getting some remedy and redress for what's going on here, because I know there's a lot of mad people. There's a lot of mad people that don't feel like they're being heard, don't really feel like they have anything to turn to, and sadly are going to something that the legislature is going to rule them out of their rights and not be able to stand on anything substantial. So I just wanted to get that for public comment. Thank you all.
Thank you. Taff? Is that Taff? Oakland?
I have questions on number 8. Is this discussion? Like, I don't want to ask my questions into the ether. Are we part of the discussion or not?
No, you can join, you,
When
yeah.
we get to it.
when we get to it, you can voice any questions you might have. Bob Baker?
Hi, my name is Bob Barker.
Barker, I'm sorry.
I've lived here in Inola for the last 26 years and really have enjoyed this ranch country. I live about 2 miles west of Ingersoll Ranch, and I've lived in Missouri, Arkansas, and I have never, ever seen such beautiful sunrises and sunsets here in northeast Oklahoma. And my concern is, what's this, if this smelter goes through, how's it going to affect those sunrises and sunsets? Another concern I have is, I don't know about you, but I have my share of electrical outages with PSO. With this, if this goes through, how is it going to affect the power grid? How's it going to affect our electrical outages? How are we a consumer? Are we going to be able to get our electricity back on, or is our rates going to go up? That's another concern. And I would like to read a portion from this article that Tom Gann put out. And it says, one of the companies that plans to build the first aluminum smelter in the U.S. in nearly 50 years near Tulsa has a history of air pollution violations, including lawsuits from residents who said emissions made them sick. Century Aluminum, a Chicago-based company that operates smelters in Kentucky, South Carolina, and Iceland, were sued in 2023 by residents living near its South Carolina smelter. The lawsuit alleged that the smelter had been releasing an increasing amount of pollutants into the air over a period of several months. Then in September 2023, the plant's emission control system malfunctioned multiple times, which caused the plant to release substantial quantities of chemical dust into surrounding neighborhoods where residents suffered from headaches, bloody noses, and other health issues, the lawsuit claimed. My issue is that I don't care how up to date this machinery is, any type of machinery is going to fail. And I assume this plant will be operating 24/7. This machinery is going on and working like crazy. What's going to happen when they have a malfunction? Who's going to be affected by it? You know, wealth versus health. I hope that we choose the right way on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Hill? Brian? Okay, thank you. Amy? Allen? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've got them right here. Yeah, I got them right here. Yeah, we need a highlighter. Oh, yeah, there is. Thank you very much for seeing that. Megan?
Hi, my name is Megan Schaefer. I'm from Coweta, and my husband and I recently built our forever home here with a plan to raise kids in a peaceful rural farm town similar to one my husband grew up in Cherokee. I am extremely concerned about the smelter. I am disappointed the smelter has even come this far without the locals being allowed a true say. Something like this should never be decided for us. According to many publicly available studies and common sense, this will have a hugely negative impact on our land, our air, and our water. It will completely disrupt the peaceful nature of this town with the construction and the traffic and the noise. A foreign company wants to build the biggest smelter in the country, which is roughly the size of 300 American football fields, and they want to build it in our backyard. They want to put a giant toxin machine that will destroy the environment, displacing wildlife, and negatively impact the town to the point where many people won't want to live here anymore. If bringing in jobs destroys more than 400 acres of land, continuously tainting the environment and making people and their animals sick, is it truly worth it? Are the people who will get sick going to be compensated for that? Is there true compensation for that? Are they going to be compensated for their animals getting sick? A 1979 Cornwall study documented a cattle herd dying from being within a 5-mile radius of a smelter that emitted 300 tons of fluoride in a year. EGA wants to release 425 tons in a year. They're trying to gaslight us into believing the smelter would be great for this area. I don't know who it's great for, but it's not Inola, and it's not the surrounding communities, which undoubtedly will be affected as well. I know many of you feel the same way, and if you don't, I hope we can get you to change your mind, because the only winners here are the people cashing the checks from far away. They will reap the benefits while we suffer with all of the consequences. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that Paula? Is that Paula Walker?
No, that's a mistake. I thought we were signing in.
Oh, okay. Are you sure, ma'am? Are you sure, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Near? 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 Nira? I signed up for 8. Okay, I got you. Trent Bynum? Okay. Amber Ellis? You want to wait? Do you want to wait? Okay.
I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to put us on the agenda and letting the people that you represent come before you. Thank you very much. I was looking up the primary role for the city council, which is to represent the people. But you guys already know that. And before your meeting, you pledge your allegiance to our flag, and you pray to, I hope, the creator and sustainer of heaven and earth. He created the ground that we walk on, the water, the air that we breathe, and every single person in here, all the animals. And I was looking to see, the number one was the request to form a citizen committee to research and recommend specific safeguards, and then the number 2 request for the city to hire an independent environmental consultant. You guys represent the people, and I would strongly suggest that you do not mock the creator of heaven and earth. Represent the people, because there will be consequences for your actions if you don't represent the people.
Thank you. Tommy? Okay. Lillian?
My name is Lillian Stevens. I've lived in Inola for 2/3 of my life. I asked this last week, but there are more people here this week. If you attended the open house meeting for OPA, do you feel like your questions were answered? All right, same answer I got last week. So, unfortunately, that's still the same. Last meeting, I read you my questions and the answers I got, which was nothing. I told you I would go to the OPA office in town to ask the questions. I spoke with Bruce Kurt. He was unable to answer my questions. He couldn't give me contact info to people who could, or to the other plants. I told him in order to know what questions to ask the Oklahoma Veterinary Medical Association, I need to know what they have in place. He told me that's not true, and it stunned me to silence. The next day, I saw an episode of Bluey, yes, I'm an adult who watches Bluey, where they were working on their investigation skills. Indy makes a clay horse that looks like a cow. They look for a picture of a cow, then realize they already know what a cow looks like. They're trying to find what a horse looks like. It clicked. I need more data to know what to look for. At the end of our meeting, he told me to read a report, then come back and ask questions. That he looked forward to my next meeting with him, and that the new questions I'll have. Almost like I need information to ask questions. I did ask a new question to him, that I did not present to the council last week. And the question was, is there anything in specific you can tell me that's going to make this plant the greenest, the cleanest, the whateverest ever? And he told me no. There was nothing in specific that he could tell me that's going to make this better than the other ones. So I'm going to go back the week after next once I've read the report. Only thing left is now is still the open window for OPA's social feedback period. You need to get that email submitted to them by this Wednesday with your feedback, whether you're for it, against it, have questions, I don't care. Just please make sure you get that email sent to them. Their email is on their website, or I know the STIS team has it posted on their Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for coming and voicing your concerns. We're going to move on now. That's it. We're going to go to number 3, Town Administrator Update. Scott?
Two quick items. Most people know that the 2 Mile Road or 4210 Road headed out south of town has been under getting new asphalt put on it due to weather. They are probably needing 2 more days to finish of dry weather. We'll see if they can get that done this week. So please bear with us as we continue to enhance the ability of that road from where it was. Second item, we did close on the property out in front of us. So anybody that wants to go look over there, we will have the keys to do that. It would be our intention to bring you some surplus items next week or next time we meet to go to auction on some of that.
Okay. Thank you. Number 4, discussion, consideration, and possible action to accept Ms. Palmer's resignation as Assistant Librarian.
Lily is expecting her second child in June. She has decided to step away and be a full-time mom. So it's my intention tonight for 4, 5, and 6 to have the current part-timer move up, Carlisle, and then Lauren Herrick return as our part-time librarian.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion that we accept her resignation from Assistant Librarian.
Second.
Darlene made the motion. Dan made second. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Please, thank you for her, all the good work that she did. Number 5, discussion, consideration, and possible action to promote Lauren Carlisle? Carlisle?
She's our current part-time librarian.
Okay, from part-time to full-time, starting 4/14/26, and receiving a pay increase to $16.50 beginning 4/19/26. Any comments, guys?
The
No, right?
board approved that, library board.
Library board, did they? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 5.
Second it.
Dan made the motion, second by Darlene. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to rehire Lauren Herrick as part-time librarian starting 4/14/2026 at a pay rate of $15.81 an hour. Did they also approve that one? Okay. Make a motion to approve number 6.
Second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a raise for Brittany Stevens effective 4/19/2026. Scott?
As most of you know, Brittany has been with us over 6 months now. She has done an outstanding job and has been enhancing a lot of the things that we had initiated. And so I would recommend that her review at this point take her to $21 an hour.
Okay.
Effective when?
Effective on the 19th.
19.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 7 for $21 an hour.
I'll second.
Dan made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes, and thank you for a job well done that you're doing, working so hard. Number 8, discussion consideration to form a nonpartisan panel committee to research community concerns surrounding the proposed aluminum smelter plant to be built at the port of Inola. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so well, I guess Tommy can tone in. He sent me, we've looked at information. Oklahoma City has a somewhat, where they appointed a community action. Oklahoma City has basically Tommy found one that they use for, it's basically for public safety. It don't really, it's appointed, we would have to determine how it would be appointed, members to be appointed, where the members would be from, terms of service, and basically it would be an advisory committee, from what I understand. They would not have any ability to spend money, so that would allow us to use people outside of the city limits. If they have the ability to spend money, city funds, then they would be limited to citizens of inside town limits. So, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. We just have to be able to put it together. It can't be a committee against everything that's going on. It has to be something that generates safety concerns for the city. Okay?
I think it's a good idea also. I think the committee should also be there to discuss and look at other things besides just the aluminum plant.
What's the purpose of that committee? What would be their purpose?
Public safety, just basically public safety is the way I'm looking at it. The way I look at Oklahoma cities is to make recommendations to the city. We think that the railroad tracks out here needs to be done, or we think that the port needs to do something out here, or it would be just a recommendation of something they see as safety generated that they would like to present to the city, and it would be supposedly looking out for the whole town or the whole community for safety issues that they would like to bring forward to the city.
Okay, so this isn't gonna be popular, but I'm have to ask the question. So if it's made of all members of the community, in town and outside, but it reports to the city?
Yeah, it would report to the city, well, it would be just, it would report to city council, make recommendations to the city council, but they would be recommendations.
Can I ask something?
In that paper that, whenever I was reading it, it was saying that they had to be citizens of Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. But
Right.
as long as, like for boards and stuff, if they don't handle money, then they're able to be from the community or at large.
And our school district, which covers a lot of area, correct?
Right, so the Oklahoma City, it was created, I think it started with the county initially. I had never dealt with this type of board, so when we talked about it, I took a look. What can I find? And so I found this. It's working very well in Oklahoma City, very specific. And now it's a permanent, continuous board that says the goal is to review complaints and investigations relating to police officers. So it's a very narrow board. But I think the concept would work here. Now, the reason in that particular situation, they defined it by resolution. It would have to be created here by resolution or ordinance. And what they did there was limited to Oklahoma City. That doesn't mean we have to. It could be the area. For example, as we talked before when we talked about protocol, I think we had reached the idea of maybe looking at the fence line or the school district. Because a lot of the people here that are concerned are not in the city, but they are still affected. So I think we would define that. But it would definitely be an advisory. We can't give away decision-making authority or money. But I think it makes sense. And I don't know, do you mind if I pick on you, Brian? You signed up to pick
Please.
sign. I've met with Brian and talked to him about this a little bit, so
Please.
I would invite you to weigh in on it as well.
Yeah, thank you. Name's Brian Hill. Unfortunately, my phone has crashed, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. But we did have this conversation, and what we were mostly looking for is a conduit to go from the citizens and us to be able to bring back to the council. When we know that we hear this, that, hey, what are we going to do about this air monitoring? Why don't we have these places? This specific committee is for that the citizens said, we've identified these 6 places. And the committee said, well, we have found this monitoring company, and this is how it could be proposed, this is how it could be set up, and this is the screenshot or how people can log in and find this information. And so we take the problems and we break them down and bring the solution to you all. Because it is an advisory. We don't have a way to say you must do this. And we want to break this cycle of it's us against you. We want to really take these information from us, from the concerned citizens, and bring it to it. And I have a draft, and I think that we can submit the draft and have you guys look through it. We'll come up with an idea of who it should be. And we completely agree that it should be bipartisan. I actually want somebody that is for the smelter to be there, because that person's either going to convince me it's better, or I'm going to convince them that it is unsafe. And that's where we're at, is we're here to make sure that everybody gets a say and that these items are truly brought to the table so we can discuss them. Because this back and forth, and it's just not working, and we're losing time. And what we hope is that these things that we decide are good solutions we bring to the city council, that you're able to put them into the package that, hey, if you're going to build this aluminum smelter, you're going to have to do this. And all these things and the protections that we want to have in play, we're trying to get this to you in a correct way, a correct manner, with actual advice that comes from this council and from this committee. And that's kind of what it is. And like to what you say, the Oklahoma City was specifically for one thing. This is for the port. From construction, from traffic problems, all these things that, this whole community is going to have to deal with. We want to be able to have a conduit so that we can say, we've identified these 3 things, and here's 3 possible solutions. That's what our hopes are.
Thank you, thank you. Do you think this should be for just the aluminum plant? I think it should be for
I think it should be for all public safety issues.
all public safety issues.
Because if you're gonna make a committee, then we should
Yeah.
probably make it for all public safety issues.
I agree. And how many people do you think should be on this committee?
I think Oklahoma City has 9 on
They
theirs.
have 9.
Do they have
We
9?
talked about 7. Of course, they have 8 boards.
Yeah.
The way they set theirs up is they pick one from each board
Mm-hmm.
and one at large. We had boards in the past, 5 boards, I think, maybe 4 plus at large.
Okay,
But we no longer have boards.
Yeah.
But if we could develop a procedure,
Mhm.
I think, again, it would be all 7 or 9 or whatever would be appointed.
I'm going to ask a
by the
question
board.
now. How many do you all think would be good to have on a committee?
7.
7? Okay, okay.
So these meetings would be held like this meeting, and there would be minutes, all that good stuff. So it's not just gonna be
I think that's,
It's a good idea what Oklahoma City, in their resolution, they laid that out. Again, it's not technically subject to the Open Meeting Act because they don't handle money, but they still operate in that fashion. And they have very specific rules, just the same as we do. And the public's invited to speak and keep minutes, and the committees form recommendations and bring it back to the town. I think it makes sense, again, Brian and I talked about that a lot, it facilitates, because there's a lot of people doing a lot of work that can be shared with you all. So that's how it would operate in my view. Again, that's still a work in progress, we can develop it as we like.
yeah.
But it is, again, at the end of the day, it's advisory, and it's a good way to share information. And
So the board would just appoint people to be on that?
Right.
Which board? What board are you talking about?
What was the question?
Did I trying to hear what Tommy said, the board would just selections on the committee? Is that what-
Yes, the board would appoint the committee.
The trustees?
Yes.
Larry, you have any comments on this?
Well, I would like you on,
Sorry, say that again?
I would like you to be on it, because one reason you have got concern, I listen to your YouTube, but you also are looking at, if it goes in, how are we gonna make it as safe as we can make it? Which is, that's been mine, yes, I'm one of those that's for it, but I want it to be, safe.
Yeah, I mean,
yet look at because they haven't finished their reports and everything yet. I know they applied for 425 tons of fluoride, and I divided that out over a five-mile circle, and that's 17 pounds per acre a year if it hit even. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of stuff out there that I think you have done some good research, that you would be good on it. That's gonna be one of my nominees,
Okay.
is her. And
Would you accept that? Okay. Come on.
She has a question.
Hi, I'm sorry.
I would like to make some comments if I could, please.
Please.
Come on, Amy.
Come on, Amy.
Okay, I am speaking in support of forming a citizen advisory committee or community advisory group for this project, and here are my thoughts on this subject. First, such a committee provides real, tangible benefits to the community, especially in protecting public health and the environment. Aluminum smelting impacts air, water, and soil quality. The committee can review independent research, identify potential health risks early, and ensure that vulnerable populations are considered. It can ensure collection of baseline environmental data, implement independent monitoring, identify concerns, and recommend safeguards. It can also monitor impacts on local ecosystems, agriculture, and water sources. Second, the committee ensures accountability and ongoing oversight. One-time approval process is not enough for a long-term complex industrial project. The committee can work with authorities to quickly address noncompliance, enforce accountability, and keep the public informed. We've seen in other communities that once contamination occurs, the damage can be long-lasting and sometimes impossible to reverse. Preventing harm is far more effective than attempting remediation later. Third, a committee allows us to learn from other communities. Other towns with smelters have faced both successes and challenges. By studying these examples, we adopt best practices and avoid known mistakes, leading to more informed and responsible decisions. Importantly, federal guidance supports this approach. The U.S. EPA actively promotes citizen advisory groups for complex or high-risk projects. The EPA's public participation guide clearly lays out why these committees are recommended. However, too often these committees are formed only after problems arise and when it's already too late. Therefore, establishing one early is considered the best practice. Finally, a citizen committee promotes transparency and public trust. The committee acts as a bridge between residents, industry, and officials. Accountability is built into the project from the beginning, creating a preventative model rather than a crisis management tool. It demonstrates that the council values community input, which builds trust and reduces conflict. The committee ensures decisions are informed not just by technical reports, but by lived experience. In closing, I'm disappointed there is no proposed action tied to this agenda item. This council has committed $270 million to this project in private development financing. It should show equal commitment to the community residents by establishing a committee with real authority and resources. This committee should be permanent, impartial, and actively engaged, not just for symbolic research. I urge you to view this not as an obstacle to progress, but as a tool to ensure that progress is responsible, transparent, and aligned with long-term health and prosperity for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Mr. O'Quinn, did you have something that you wanted to talk about on this?
Just a quick question. Possibly a really dumb question. So the committee, if they come back and, by God, it's the worst thing that ever happened in this world, and if the environmental study that hasn't come out yet, right, Larry? If it comes back and it's plumb scary, what can the city do?
Well, that's a good question, because we're not the EPA. We haven't talked about that a little bit on the next agenda item, but about maybe talking to an expert. But at the end of the day, we don't have those kind of powers to say no. I mean, we didn't like this here. We didn't ask for it. So I don't know the answer, I guess, is the best. It's not a dumb question, but I don't have it.
I'm wondering, are we barking up the wrong tree? As far as, can the city do anything about this smelter at all?
Well, that's what we talked about. We want to look into what can we do in regards to provision and safety, if nothing else. That's part of what we're going to talk about. That's what Brian and I talked about.
Can you rezone to light industrial? Yeah. You can, but you get your rear suit off? Okay. Is there any way to, like, there's a certain standard of environmental goodness that they're supposed to meet? There's another layer that's better than that. Can we do anything to influence and make them go to the next level?
Can we force them? I don't know. Can we continue to have that discussion? I think so.
So this committee we're talking about, they do all the work, they come back with a conclusion. What can we do with that conclusion? Doesn't sound like anything.
Well, it's information. We're going to continue to work. I mean, I can't give you an answer. The hypothetical, I don't know. But.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question. Because you've done some research, what would you say that is the max tonnage for fluoride that you would think it would be safe?
When stigma alone can deter people from being able to sell their cattle or sell their hay, we've already shot ourselves in the foot at how much we've already made the news in the press, right? So anybody around us is gonna go, ooh, I heard that's bad, and put people out of business.
Well, I
I
agree.
mean, there's the stigma alone, that's you can't.
Have you looked at Mount Holly's plant
Yes.
and where it's located?
Yes.
And how close it is to that elementary? 1,600 meters.
It's also next to a wildlife refuge, and there's a deer study.
Good deer, I did see that, and when we talked, one thing that, now, me and you are trying to be neutral, one thing that everybody kept throwing Century in, but they're not gonna be making the decisions.
Well, so I mean, that's the question I've had.
E.g., well, I talked to Zion, which was at the meeting, and he said he was pretty upset with Century already. But he goes, they will not be making the decisions.
Well, right, and there's differences between the financial decisions versus operational.
Well, I looked at, again, I'm looking at their plants compared to, I agree, but I think that's where you've done some pretty good research on that. And I have too, because I drew a 5-mile circle there in Charleston, and it encompasses about, what, 10 or 12,000 people, 4 or 5 elementary schools. And there were wildlife. I didn't read the deer that got bad teeth. I didn't, I read, and that's the thing, where'd my man go? Well, I was gonna put him on that. I would've liked to see Tad and O'Quinn be on that, with you.
We talked all night on.
Tad,
Who's that?
well, the guy that spoke, Tad O'Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, Trent, did you have comments that you wanted to? You're good? Nira? Did you? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Neera Singh. I'm here in alliance with this community and stand against the smelter. I'm a longtime Tulsa resident. I wish I could say I support trying to get a committee to ensure a clean smelter, but I honestly don't believe there is such a thing. What I really want to say is hear me. The smelter in Inola will not be built. Oklahomans have stood up to protect this place before when the Black Fox nuclear facility was proposed, and we will stand up again now to protect this same place. And I was going to read through just some of the threats from this smelter, but I think a lot of us already know that. I wanted to share my experience of living in Tulsa, about a mile away from the H.F. Sinclair Refinery West. I'm a volunteer with the Tulsa Area Arkansas River Advocates. We work to hold the refinery accountable for their emissions and illegal dumping into our river in Tulsa. And I speak to you as someone on the other end of the trajectory of living next to a highly toxic industrial polluter. This refinery has been in West Tulsa for 100 years. So 100 years of benzene emissions, which is a known carcinogen. Also particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, illegal wastewater dumping. The company gets fined annually for repeated violations every year to the Clean Air and Clean Water Act over and over. It's just kind of how they operate. It's not that they're trying to stop this pollution, it's how they work and they pay the fines. They were fined $5 million in 2007 by the Department of Justice in a criminal penalty for violating the Clean Water Act, purposely manipulating wastewater samples. They falsified the samples and they knew they were doing it. They did it repeatedly over and over again. It was whistleblowers in the Tulsa plant that brought this to the attention of the Department of Justice. We had to go out of the state to get someone to act on it. So the entire community in West Tulsa near the refinery has pretty much been destroyed. Houses are abandoned, neighborhoods bought out by the refinery. Whole blocks are sitting empty. It's a ghost town. I don't know if any of you have driven over there. They also have serious OSHA violations all the time. Also, whistleblowers talk of workers wading through toxic sludge with no protective gear up to their waist. Young men working there yet to start their families. And then the turning over of the company to different owners. So Sunoco to Sinclair Oil to Holly Corporation, turning into Holly Frontier, turning into Holly Sinclair.
Okay. Thank you so much, okay, for your comments and your concerns. And we appreciate it. I'd like to get back to this. So what we would need to do is to have a resolution. Is that correct? I'm sorry. What we need to do is have a resolution on this matter.
So, yeah, we need to develop a plan. It sounds like, Ryan, did you say you put something together?
Yes. Yes, we do have a draft that is put together. It
Okay.
lays out how things are. And, you know, I know there's some conversation, but this is for the port. You know, this is for not just this plant, but anything that may come in the future that this committee has established that already has the guidelines and the rules and the lessons learned of how to deal with the problem. It may be a paint company that's trying to come in, and it's, you know, all of this is the stuff that we're looking for, that type of committee. But we have a draft. We'll just email it out, and then we can, you know, get the finalization done, and then however we need to select the members, then we'll get the members selected, and everybody agrees that this is for us. I mean, you may be sitting on that side, but you're still an Inola resident. And that's what we really want everybody to understand is we want everybody to be safe. If this thing comes in, but if we can stop it, then because it's unsafe, then if we can, we want you to truly see the data at that point.
I will agree with that. If it's stopped, it's not gonna kill me, but again, it's like the TIF. Everybody, we were only supporting the citizens of Inola money-wise on the TIF. Because if it was not passed, they would have de-annexed, had a TIF, and the city would have gotten nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
what,
it's kind of a, but I'm with her. Oh, sorry. Got bad battery. I'm with Elizabeth of trying to, this is a question that I would ask everybody. How many of you have use electricity? Everybody would raise their hand. Do power plants cause emissions? Yes. The gasoline, it's been happening for 100 years. How many of us drove today and used gasoline? And the greatest emissions are those things out there, but we seem to look away from those when it benefits us. And that's what I'm saying about this. It's got to be safe. I don't want the cows, the kids, this and that. And I think you all are on the right track. We need neutral. We may need some stops. We may need some goes on the committee and talk about it and get back to us.
Is to be able to just provide the data. This is what it is, and this is how it truly affects. These are some of the things we have figured out, and we found that have worked other places, or that can be a stop for what we're having. That's what we're wanting, is, you know, to deal with not just the smelter, but like I said, anything that else may come out to that land that we don't have as much control over, that, you know, when you guys are developing the TIF, that it says, well, you can move here, but it's this, this, and this, and it's gonna cost this much money. That's the stuff that we're hoping, the baseline that we do now.
And we're trying to get that in place.
That's what we're hoping, is that we can.
I really look forward to seeing what you have made up, a draft that you have made up. Okay, I really look forward to seeing that, and we most definitely want to put this on. Mark, I'm sorry, I have overlooked you.
No.
Have you got any comments that you want?
Yeah, I think this, it'd be great to have an advisory board, that way they can go and they can look at everything and then come back and talk to us, you know, more about it. Not only us doing the research, but them doing it as well. But not just for the smelter, but for everything that goes on within inside the city.
Yes, I agree. Have I got to everybody that put down?
Just to be clear, though, you said that no matter what information is brought to you, you guys aren't going to stop it. Is that not what you just said earlier?
No.
It doesn't matter how bad it is.
That's not
It's
exactly
too
what I
late.
said, but.
No.
He asked me, what can we do? I said, I'm not sure.
Did I get to everybody that wrote their name down on here that wanted to talk and speak? Did I overlook anybody? Okay. Hopefully, we can work on this and get this put on the next meeting to go into further detail. I'm sorry, get this put on the agenda for the next meeting, go into more detail about this. Look forward to seeing what he has made up. And I think it's a very good idea. Gentlemen? Okay? Okay, I'm going to go on to number 9, discussion, consideration, and possible action to publish a request for qualification for environmental services.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good.
As you know, I'm with Holloway, Dyke and Bellin. I'm Dwayne Garner, and I represent the town as the town's. In that capacity, being familiar with the procurement of professional services, the town administrator had asked me to look into putting together a statement of qualifications and reaching out to discuss the possibility of hiring an independent third-party reviewer when we do get the environmental assessments and we do get the plans from the proposed smelter or other operations that would come. So I have done that, put together a draft, just a reminder of the state law. In order for us to hire professional services, we would need to advertise those and receive statement of qualifications from those individuals. A quick overview, that would be then a short-listed procedure, and then pick who you believe would be most qualified. In order to move forward with that, I would need a resolution or a vote from you guys to be able to do so. The procedure there would be to finalize the draft, advertise that in the paper. It's typically customary to do that for around 21 days so that everybody has a chance to see it, prepare their response, and submit their response. And then from there would begin negotiations of what fees. And that's what I'm bringing for you tonight, is whether you want me to proceed with that or not proceed with that. You have an estimated cost away Estimated cost is $100,000 plus for the initial or for the? for the initial.
One of the questions I had, we were talking just before the meeting, you might explain what that was.
Okay, let me go over that scope with you. Primarily to represent the town in assessment of the environmental documents related to the proposed aluminum smelter.
It would look at the environmental impacts, the documentation of compliance, World Bank and environmental, the social framework, and the other principles. It would look at what the requirements and regulations of the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality are for their permitting. It would look at the EPA for their permitting on both air and water. It would look at what the industry is doing, whether they're implementing best practices, whether they're using the best technologies, what the best aluminum stewardship initiative and performance standards, if they're meeting those. The historical, environmental, some of that's come up tonight, the performance of EGA and Century, and develop those, look at what they're doing in the United States, the AEU, and Europe and the Caribbean. That's where they operate. And then provide response back to the council of what the findings were. So that's kind of the detailed scope that we had come up with as what I was directed with to find out. So from that, Tommy and I had discussed, I do not have the answer tonight, what kind of retainage or fees we could do just to have someone answer the normal operations. Kind of a smaller scope on this would just be to answer town questions or answer advisory boards questions about those kind of things on like an hourly retainer. I'm not prepared to discuss that tonight.
Okay.
Go over this scope. I was told that it was an estimated around $100,000. I reached out to one of the top 5 engineering companies in the world that deals with this because we would need someone that has the scope to be able to investigate in other countries and things like that.
And that would be for this project from start to finish, correct?
That would be for this project and its permitting processes.
Right, exactly. Yeah, start to finish on that permitting process. Yes.
It's not an ongoing air.
Exactly.
Going water quality monitoring. That would have to be done separately.
Okay.
I like the idea of having somebody there that could just answer a question, have them on retainer, that they could answer whatever questions that we might have, you know, how this is, Tommy, you get what I'm saying?
Darlene and I talked about, a bit, but more of that. I mean, I wasn't really expecting $100,000.
Right.
And I don't, it's back to what you brought up. I'd hate to spend $100,000 and then be unable to do anything with that.
Right.
If it's all going to go through DEQ anyway, they're making those decisions. My thought, I think, as we first talked about this was again, consult, answer questions.
Yes.
Maybe help us with some of these issues that we're going to develop through further discussions, you know, about protections. So, I mean, again, I don't vote, I don't make a
I know, but
decision,
that's kind of what,
I think it would be good to have someone to consult with. I don't know if you're ready to commit to $100,000.
that's really kind of what I was looking at.
So would you like for me to reach out and readdress this? And here's the thing, even for doing that, we're going to need to have the advertisement and selection process to meet the procurement laws for Oklahoma. Modify the scope to be an on-call hourly basis rather than a report basis, if I'm so directed.
Gentlemen, thoughts?
Well, are you going to say, what I think you're going to say is that whoever we choose or whoever we get, that the committee gets to look at that group?
Yes, exactly.
Is that what you were?
It can be, it's an option, that it goes into negotiation with the company to either fully front the cost or share the cost. It's a negotiation. It bodes well for the company, especially whenever they're in a community with a lot of pushback, to say that we get to decide who it is, but that they share the cost. And that's something that committee can do, can at least look at and present it in that way.
Well, my deal is then we're not on different sides. If we pick it, but you recommend, we work together on who we choose.
Yes, and it brings in, yeah, exactly, everybody agrees on who to bring in, who's the most qualified to be the most unbiased, and is irrefutable of what that outcome is, no matter what's happening.
Right.
Mark, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have somebody who can come in and be able to check all, all the records, make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Dan?
I would like to know where we're at in the process of, before we commit to $100,000.
Right.
I'd like to have know the commitment of the company before I drop $100,000.
Right.
Whether they're gonna stay in Inola, whether they're not gonna stay in Inola, whether they're gonna back out next week. It's my understanding they haven't purchased the property yet. I don't know where that drop dead comes along, but I mean, we have a lot of problems that have to be addressed in the city limit, roads, infrastructure and stuff, and to spend $100,000 and then turn around and say, well, it fell through, that's not a very good decision on our part. So,
Wouldn't it be better if we had somebody that was just an hourly basis that we could get information from, we can talk to, we can,
Right, you guys don't have to necessarily, as a talking point, don't decide on anything, put that responsibility on this committee to then discuss again.
I would like, my point was, is I would like to have everything in place, so if something does happen, that we can rapidly move forward with it.
What I was gonna ask is, could we go ahead with, I mean, we're not bound by anything but an RFQ. We're just taking bids, if you will.
Well, not even bids, I mean, because that's illegal. But what we are is taking and selecting who would be most qualified to answer that. So if I may, what I hear is we probably need to get the committee in place so that the committee can review the responses to the RFQ. In the meantime, I'd be glad to prepare the RFQ and have it ready to go with the council's direction, the trustees' direction, have it ready to go. We do need to recognize that it's typical 21-day advertisement and response time for professional services. So.
But I don't think that, again, like Dan said, they haven't even signed, the buy the property yet. So, yeah, not, we could get it ready to go, but not do anything until, ink's on the paper. And then at that point in time, because it's going to take some time for them to actually start anything anyway. And at that point in time, then we can make the resolution, go ahead and post that, have the 21 days, and then have the committee, whoever, puts the application in, then the committee can take a look at them, and then we take a look at them, and then make a decision at that point in time.
Okay.
Tommy?
Yeah, so the RFP is for the consultant aspect, not the $100,000 project.
The RFQ is for the consultant aspect.
As a consultant on an hourly basis.
Right.
Not the $100,000.
Right.
So what we would get from the response of the RFQ would be everyone who was interested in working with Inola with those qualifications, and then we would shortlist those down into the top 3 that we think are the best. And then the typical way professional services are done, you may want to interview, you may not. That'd be something the committee would most likely do, would be interview them so that they could come and give a presentation on their expertise.
Kind of like they did.
That's the way I got hired, right.
Yeah.
They shortlisted to 3, the 3 of us come in one night, discussed our expertise, our commitment, our interest in the town and the community, et cetera. All those things get weighed in. And then from there, the committee could make a recommendation. Up to that point, no money's been spent except for the advertisement in the Claremore newspaper, which I'd recommend twice, like we do for bidding.
I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and we do give him the okay to look into that. How do I want to say that?
You have a scope tonight, but
I have a draft.
Before you leave this topic, I would like to make some comments. If I could, please.
Okay?
Dwayne, thank you for what you have done.
Thank
Your
you.
group has done a very good job for the town.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you so
thank
very
you.
much. We're going to come back to this in just a minute because Okay, we haven't took any action at all, but would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought you were moving on to the next agenda.
Go ahead. 3 minutes, please.
I am speaking in support of hiring an independent environmental consultant for this project. Effective environmental governance for high-impact industrial operations require more than periodic checks or self-reporting. It needs continuous independent oversight to detect risk early, ensure compliance, and maintain public trust. A key part of this approach is an independent environmental consultant working alongside regulators and the community. The consultant helps the community understand permits by translating technical details into clear, practical terms, including emissions, environmental, and health impacts, and what regulatory limits meet in practice. They evaluate assumptions, clarify enforceable permit conditions, and identify any gaps in protections. When environmental monitoring is handled solely by the facility, an inherent conflict can arise between operational goals and public health, raising concerns about incomplete reporting and missed peak emissions. An independent consultant helps resolve this by separating data collection from production incentives. Aluminum smelters emit pollutants that can cause harm not only from single high-dose events, but low-level long-term repeated exposure as well. Independent continuous monitoring ensures repeated short-term spikes are detected, long-term exposure trends are identified early, and vulnerable populations are made aware of cumulative risks. Environmental risk is dynamic, changing with operations, equipment performance, production cycles, and weather conditions. Because pollution levels vary over time, one-time assessments or occasional review often miss true exposure risks. Continuous oversight enables detection of gradual environmental degradation and identifies issues early before they become violations or health concerns. Historical experience with industrial operations shows recurring patterns. Emissions and exposure risk can fluctuate significantly over time. Cumulative impacts often emerge only after long periods of insufficient monitoring. And communities frequently raise concerns that are not fully captured by infrequent periodic compliance data, leading to delays or failure in resolution. These patterns highlight the need for systems that combine regulatory oversight with independent continuous environmental monitoring. Again, this council has committed $270 million to the project in private development financing. It should show equal commitment to the community residents by hiring an independent environmental consultant to assist the community from, in my opinion, environmental permitting process through the life of the facility. An oversight model that integrates independent scientific expertise with ongoing monitoring and community participation provides a more complete and reliable safeguard for public health and environmental integrity than periodic or self-reported approaches alone.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Dwayne? Dwayne?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'd like to make the motion that we go ahead and authorize Dwayne to look into getting us a consultant, okay, that could help us with this, you know.
Drawing up bids.
Yes, yes, for bids and advertising.
So it's a request for qualifications, there you say.
Yes.
Go ahead and publish the request.
Yes, go ahead and publish the request for qualifications.
So to repeat back, I'm going to modify this to be for an hourly on-call basis for explanation of environmental documentation and questions to the public on a retainer basis, on an hourly basis. Going to go ahead and advertise in the Claremore newspaper that we would want this. Do you want to see the request for qualifications ahead of time, or would you like staff to handle that?
I would personally like to have them just emailed. I don't think I need to approve them, but I would personally
Yeah.
like to see them.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay.
Me too.
Then over the next week, I'll email each of the trustees our draft, give a week comment period, and then we'll begin the process. Does this sound agreeable?
Yes,
Okay.
Get your motion in.
yes, I made my motion.
I'll second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes, thank you. Let's see. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to request bids for domestic trash collecting services.
In your packets, I have included the bid sheet and also the contract that we are expecting the trash person to execute. I'd like, if possible, to go out with publication and request to solicit these bids so that we can come back in a couple of weeks and make a decision on that.
You guys okay with this?
I'm good with it.
I am
I asked
too.
my questions and he answered them, so.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
good with it.
Make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 10.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you.
Dan made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Excuse me. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to accept Dora Remington's resignation from the Board of Adjustments.
Make a motion to approve item number 11.
Second?
Dan made the motion, second by Darlene. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to reapprove or cancel funding the cost of the Union Pacific Railroad engineering for improved True Value Road crossing. Scott?
I felt like we needed to revisit this one because I didn't properly clarify some of this for y'all. Tommy has actually helped me with this, and that we wanted to make sure and note that, yes, it was a $50,000 commitment or approximately in the ballpark for Union Pacific to do the engineering. There is no guarantee that they will give us the right to do the project. And so we want to make sure you understood that, like in any project, but in this case, we may be handing them money with the anticipation that we may, but we may not be able to move forward with that project. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Tommy?
No, and I'm not surprised. I mean, when you're dealing with the railroad, they have very strict rules and regulations, but it's not like that's negotiable. We have to spend the money if we wish to do the project. So I don't think we can do anything about it to take that chance. If it's important, we need to do it. I just wanted to bring that.
And it is a public safety project.
Yes, it is.
And I wouldn't expect them to say no, but they always.
They're tough to work with.
Yes, they are.
They decide it's not appropriate.
I had a similar conversation today with Trapper Parks, who's with the head of ODOT for this area, and, you know, he's intrigued by the project too, but, you know, they may come in and say, we're not sure about this one crossing Highway 88, so, but at this moment, I'm gonna say he is, but we can run into either one of those two road barriers. Road or railroad barriers.
I'm going to make a motion to continue to move forward on item number 12.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Dan made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Introduction of new police officers. Cliff?
Yes, last meeting, we approved to hire 2 officers, and I'd like to introduce them tonight. One y'all familiar with is Elena, and I'll let her go first if you guys have any questions for her.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. My name's Elena Anderson. I look forward to serving you guys again. I've been in law enforcement for almost 4 years, so I've gotten the feel for it. I've mainly served as an SRO for about 3 years, though, but I am ready to be back and serve you guys and be able to keep you guys safe and help you guys in any way you need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have any questions?
No.
No.
We'd just like to be able to put a face.
That's right. We want to
Somebody
know what
says,
you look like.
This is, I don't know.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Adam Dane. I went to the police academy with Elena. I've been at Verdigris for 2.5 years, law enforcement for just about 4 years. I look forward to protecting and serving the town of Inola.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming over.
We're
Welcome to Inola.
very happy to have you. And for the rest of you sitting back there.
Thank you.
We thank you also. Okay, discussion, consideration, and possible action to appoint Russ Overstreet as co-emergency manager.
When we met 2 weeks ago, the question was brought up about insurance coverages. Under our insurance policy, all of these positions are covered under workman's comp, no matter whether they're a reserve officer or a volunteer fireman or in the emergency services. So that was the issue, I believe, was the only issue we had remaining, so.
Yeah, as long as we don't, I think the fire department's only allowed, is it 21 on the insurance?
There is a limited number for that, and I think it's in that 20 range.
I thought it was 21.
Yeah, maybe.
As long as we don't exceed our,
It won't be for the fire department, because under our policy, emergency services, I think, is considered separate, because we need to do that for Tyler, because he's on a police, or fireman's pension.
okay.
So he will not, Russ has already been covered under our workman's comp as a reserve officer, and he will continue to be that too.
I make a motion to go ahead and appoint Russ Overstreet as co-emergency manager.
Second.
Mark made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to appoint Tyler Clark as co-emergency manager.
I make a motion to appoint Tyler Clark as co-emergency manager.
Second.
Mark made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. I'm going to make a motion to go to PWA at 7:19.
Second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. April, now I'm going to ask you to do roll.
Larry?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
Dan?
Here.
Darlene?
Here. Approval of previous regular meeting minutes as printed.
I make a motion to approve previous regular meeting minutes as printed.
Second.
Mark made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. March PWA report, and that's in your packets.
Thank you, guys. They continue to do a great job for
Yes,
us.
they do. Thank you, thank you. Approval of purchase orders is initialed.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase orders as initial.
I'll second.
Dan made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to go back to regular session at 7:21.
Second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. I'm gonna make a motion to return from PWA at 7:21.
I'll second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Approval of purchase orders as initial.
Make a motion to approve purchase orders as initial.
I'll second.
Dan made the motion, second by Mark. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes, thank you. Mayor's comments, I want to thank everybody for coming out and voicing their concerns and their comments and just coming out to our meetings. I want to appreciate that. I want to thank everyone up here for all the hard work they do. Our police officers, our PWA, I want to thank all of you. And I'm going to make a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
Second.
Darlene made the motion, second by Dan. Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Darlene?
Yes. Thank you all.